I finally completed TD-15 for the Object 260, which is the mission Triumph. The mission requires you to do 8,000 damage for the primary condition and 5 kills for the secondary condition. And given that this is a 15 mission, so to speak, you certainly want to get the secondary so that you can avoid doing one of the 5 sets of missions for the Object 260. In this case, I'm trying to avoid doing the Arty missions. Now you can see I'm here on Abby, in probably a less than ideal match makeup for this, and I'll talk about why in just a couple minutes. But one of the key aspects of doing this mission I found is to be able to get 1 or 2 shots in early, and then just move between different locations in the map where you know you're going to be able to get easy shots, and then reposition for your next set of shots. So I set up for an early shot there on that T-54 lightweight, and immediately I'm gonna try to reposition to get some shots on the road on the 8 line. Now, the reason I don't like the composition that I see in front of me is the health pool on the enemy team is relatively low. And it probably has to do with the fact that there's quite a few tier 8s in here, but there's also 2 Arty. And so it brings the overall HP pool down. So if you're trying to do 8,000 damage and the enemy team starts off with 22,000 health pool, you have to do over a third of the damage in a match to complete this mission. So you need to be somewhat aggressive in getting this done. Now I've tried multiple tank lines for this. I originally started by trying the Jagdtiger, the Tier 9 German TD, because it has pretty close to 3,500 DPM. But I couldn't consistently get a high enough HP pool because it would put me in with a lot of 9s and 8s and sometimes 7s. So the HP pool just wasn't there for me to get the mission done. And the tank isn't as mobile as I think you need to be to get this mission done. And of course I have the Yagi 100. I've done other missions in that tank for other TD missions. But again, you run into a severe mobility problem because you certainly couldn't adjust like I'm adjusting here in the Grille 15. And the other problem with the Yagi 100 is that the rate of fire makes it really difficult to do 8,000 damage and get 5 kills. You could probably find yourself doing 10,000 damage and maybe only have 2 or 3 kills because you're firing at full health targets to make sure that you get the 8,000 damage, because you're going to take 21 to 22 seconds to reload. So I decided that I wanted a larger selection of TDs for this, so I finished my grind up to the T-110E4, the American line. I found that tank, while more mobile than the Jagdpanzer E100, still wasn't as mobile as I would like it. And that tank also suffers from slightly lower DPM, not a whole lot lower, but I think more importantly, the aim time and accuracy of the T-110E4 makes it a little difficult to do this mission. I was missing a lot of shots that I shouldn't be missing, and it was one of the reasons that I decided if I really wanted to put effort into this mission that I was just going to have to grind up the Grille, which has amazing aim time, really good rate of fire. I'm reloading in about 13.5 seconds, and decent enough alpha to output damage. And you can see the mobility allows me to scoot around the map and adjust pretty dynamically. Now, at this point, this is a pretty average game in the Grille. It wasn't uncommon for me to do 4,000 or 5,000 damage in a game in all of the attempts that I made on this mission. And it was a lot of attempts. Unlike MT-15, which is largely matchmaker dependent, getting you TDs, or LT-15, which is just spamming to get the right map in your light tank. TD-15 is really difficult. Doing a third of your team's damage and a third of the enemy health pool, which is two different things, is really hard. It takes a lot of work and focus. And so it took me about 280 matches to get this done. So that's a lot of matches in the Grille. It took me quite a while to grind up to it as well, because I was only on tier 5 in this line. But I feel that the Grille is probably one of the better tanks to get this mission done. I also started grinding up the Object 263 line because of the DPM and the mobility that tank affords, but didn't get to it before I completed this with the Grille. So certainly feel comfortable if you have a Grille. This is a great tank to do this in. Now, at this point in the match, I'm actually halfway through the mission, but as I said, this is not unusual for this tank, and I really wasn't expecting to complete the mission in this match. I was really just looking to help pull out a win here, because we're slightly behind in the number of tanks, and we're pretty far behind in terms of HP pool as well. So I was really just hoping to help the team win. But as the enemy team pushes up on the B line there, it became obvious that one, I was going to be able to output enough damage to get this done, and two, you'll see in just a couple minutes, it became very clear that I was going to get this done, and it was just a question of being very careful with 2 already left on the map. So when on the map Abbey, where I am is actually a really good position. I think I'm actually triple bushed right here. So even though I'm firing and I'm only 200 meters away from some of these tanks, maybe 250, they have no chance of spotting me. The Grille doesn't have particularly good camo. But I do have a camo net on it. I do have camo paint. I do have camo on my crew. But these bushes are really keeping me covered as I'm firing. And you'll see as this IS-7 pushes up onto the base plateau, I fire at him and he still doesn't spot me. So this is a really good spot to be in. My major concern at this point was that my teammate in the IS-7 had parked right next to me, and I figured that he would be spotted and he would be a huge RD target, and I was worried that I would get hit by the splash as well. So we're down to 3 tanks at this point, actually 2 tanks now, since we just lost another one. It's just me and a Bulldog. There's 4,000 HP left on the enemy team, although that's not 100% accurate with that mod, but more than enough to get this mission done. So you see there, I knocked out that IS-7. He did not spot me when I fired, and this T-54E1 is going to push up on me as well, and he's not going to spot me when I'm fired. So this is a great position to be defending the cap from. Now, that was a poor shot on my part. But you're going to see one of the reasons that the Grille is such a good tank for this. Because it has a reload time of about 13.5 seconds, more or less, I was able to put a second shot into that E1 relatively quickly. And again, you'll notice he did not spot me, even though he was relatively close to me. At this point, I'm not even thinking about the mission. I'm just thinking about running down and killing Artie to try to even these odds. And once I killed that 212A, One, I'm thinking, boy, I'm going to get RD'd because I was spotted. But then I look down and notice the damage meter here, and I'm at 6,600 damage. And not only am I thinking, I think we can win this, but I also realize that there's enough HP pool at this point to actually get this mission done. So I'm about to do something here that I normally don't do because it usually has the opposite effect. I'm going to tell the Bulldog that I'm on TD-15 and I need his help. Now, in past experience, when you tell teammates that you're on a mission, they normally go out of their way to stop you from getting the mission. And that has happened time and time again to me. In this case, and you don't see it here because of a bug in World of Tanks replays, the Bulldog responded back with affirmative. So he's just going to go out and spot for me and help me get my my damage, which is going to come relatively quickly here. Now, the biggest threat is, well, all three of these tanks are really big threats, but we're going to dispatch that Rumby real quick. And then it really just comes down to finding the Oho, which, to the best of my knowledge at this time, was relatively full health, given the HP pool that's left. So we're going to run down the 8 line to try to find him, but he finds us first. And my first thought is, oh crap, he's going to hit me, but he missed. And now I am one shot away from getting TD-15 done. My adrenaline is pumping. My nerves are a little frayed, given that you have to deal with an Oho that is probably firing a derp and an Artie, which is more than capable of one-shotting you. So you can see I'm so nervous that I'm about to get this mission done that I actually miss this unmissable shot. But more importantly, I'm spotted, and I am convinced that I am going to get RD'd, and there it is. Artie hit me, but wasn't direct hit, so I didn't die. Now it's just a question of getting that last shot on the Oho, pop around the corner, and there it is. So that is TD-15. Just have to redo HT-15 to get my Object 260. For those of you interested, we went on to finish this map by capping because the already ran.